The rumble of motorcycles echoed under the bright afternoon sun, dust swirling around the rowdy clubhouse of the Steel Serpents. Men who carried the weight of past mistakes on their leather jackets laughed loud, smoked hard, and tried to forget the world outside their brotherhood. But fate has a way of knocking loudly, unexpectedly, especially when innocence needs a protector. And that day, fate appeared in the shape of a trembling 12-year-old girl with messy brown hair and red, terrified eyes. Her fists were tiny but full of desperation as she banged on the thick metal door, each knock screaming louder than her voice ever could. When the door creaked open and the biggest, most feared biker in the county stepped out, the girl's knees shook. Yet she stood her ground, because love gives courage even when hope feels broken. And then, with a voice quivering like a leaf in the wind, she spoke the words that froze the entire biker gang. "They beat my mama. If you believe in kindness, courage, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Light of Kindness right now. It helps us continue spreading inspiring, true-feeling stories to the world." His name was Samson, though everyone called him Bear, because he was built like one. Tattoos wrapped around his arms like storms, and his beard made him look like a man carved from mountains. People feared him, though they didn't really know him. He was a man who once lived a different life, one filled with anger and darkness he worked daily to outrun. And when he saw this small girl standing alone before him, clutching her ribs, as though holding herself together, something deep inside Bear cracked. The girl's name was Harper. She smelled faintly of smoke, and her clothes were dirty like she had run through everything: fear, tears, and danger to make it here. Behind her eyes lay a story of a home that wasn't safe, of nights filled with crying, of a mother who tried to protect her but couldn't shield herself from the hands of a violent man. Harper explained in shaky breaths that her father had come home drunk again. Her mother, who always tried to keep peace, had locked the door, hoping silence would calm him. But monsters don't need reason. Harper watched helplessly as he threw her mother to the floor, yelling, rage exploding in every hit. Her mother had whispered for her to run to find help anywhere. The nearest safe place Harper knew wasn't a church or a police station. It was this chaotic clubhouse of men many would never trust. She remembered seeing Bear once at a gas station months ago. He had seen her drop her ice cream and silently handed her his own. No words, no explanations, just kindness. That moment burned into her memory like a lighthouse. She trusted him, even when the world said she shouldn't. Bear didn't ask questions. He didn't pause to think. His heart knew what mattered before his mind caught up. He pulled off his leather vest, covered Harper with it like armor, scooped her lightly in his strong arms, and barked orders to his brothers with a voice that carried thunder. Every biker instantly knew what needed to be done. Engines roared to life, tires spat gravel. The Steel Serpents charged toward Harper's house like an unstoppable storm. Days turned into weeks, and the Steel Serpents found themselves acting like unexpected guardians. They took Harper to school on their bikes, the loudest escort in the parking lot, making sure no one ever bullied her. They delivered groceries. They fixed the door every time it reminded Mara of fear. They protected without asking anything in return. Bear visited often, sitting on the porch quietly, respecting their space but ready if they needed him. Mara was shy around him at first. She had learned to fear big men with loud voices, but Bear was different. His silence was gentle. His eye always stayed kind. Over time, she began to feel safe again. Harper adored him from the start. She would sit proudly on his bike, telling anyone who would listen that Bear was her hero. One afternoon, as the sun poured golden light across the yard, Mara finally found strength in her voice. She thanked Bear, tears sliding quietly as she told him he had saved them. Bear shook his head, struggling to meet her gaze. He confessed that he had once been the kind of man Harper's father was. A man who hurt people he loved. A man who regretted everything too late. He feared he didn't deserve gratitude. But Mara placed her hand over his softly, carefully, and told him that saving lives makes a man worthy of forgiveness he never received. Her words hit him deeper than any punch ever could. The Steel Serpents became a part of Harper and Mara's lives, but Bear became something more, a symbol of redemption, proof that broken men can rebuild stronger. He worked tirelessly to ensure Harper's father never came near them again, attending court hearings, standing firm like a shield. When Harper's father tried to intimidate them from afar, Bear documented everything, making sure the truth was heard by those who would protect them legally. Harper blossomed. Her shy smiles became bright, sparkling laughter. She began to join community activities, finding friends who admired her bravery. Mara started volunteering at a women's shelter, wanting to help others trapped in terror. She found purpose again. She found hope again. One day, Harper came to the clubhouse, this time not in fear, but with excitement radiating from her eyes. She brought Bear a drawing she made, him standing like a giant, protecting a mother and daughter from a dark storm. At the bottom she wrote, "Our angel." Bear stared at the picture with a lump in his throat, trying and failing to hide his emotions. He never imagined anyone would call him something so pure. A year passed. The nightmares faded. Life became brighter, and as the seasons changed, so did hearts. Mara and Bear grew close quietly, naturally. He treated her gently, with patience shaped from regret and longing to be better. Harper would often tease him, saying she knew he liked her mother, and Bear would simply blush behind his beard. The Steel Serpents changed too. Inspired by the transformation, they began community outreach programs, fixing bikes for kids, raising money for survivors of violence, standing up against the darkness they once ignored. The town that feared them now waved when they rode by. But the most important change happened inside Bear. He discovered that redemption isn't found in running from who you were. It's found in fighting to become someone better for the sake of others. He learned that sometimes the world chooses the most unlikely protectors to be heroes. A man once feared became the strongest defender of the weak. Years later, Harper stood at a school ceremony holding an award for bravery. She spotted Bear in the audience, tears welling in her eyes as she saw him clapping proudly. After the event, she hugged him tightly and whispered that she would never have survived without him. Bear simply held her close, grateful that life had given him one more chance to do what mattered. If this story touched your heart, even a little, please subscribe, like the video, and share the message of hope, strength, and second chances with the world. Before you go, please comment below. Everyone deserves a protector. Harper never forgot the day she knocked on that rough clubhouse door, believing her fate would be decided by chance. But what she found wasn't chance. It was a guardian disguised as a biker. It was a family born from courage. It was love rising from the ashes of fear. And Bear, he learned that sometimes a small knock can save a big soul.